Good morning, Stampers, and thank you for joining me for another Facebook Live. I'm excited to be here today to share with you a Mother's Day card using the Everything is Rosy medley that's available currently through Stampin' Up. My name is Sherry Roth, and I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator from Sherwood Park, Alberta, Canada. And every Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, I come live to you with a crafting project. So I'm gonna give it just a couple minutes, actually probably only a minute, and let some of you log in, and I'm gonna get my iPad set up so I can see who's watching. Be sure to say hi when you pop in. Let me know whether you're watching live or the replay. What am I doing here? Okay, let's find the video. There we go. Okay. Good morning, Kathy. Good morning, Tammy. All right, so we're gonna start like we do every week. So for those of you who are watching for the first time, the project that I make the current week, you have the opportunity to get entered to win the following week. So, and how you get entered is by commenting, asking a question, sharing the post. So every comment or question that you ask, you get one ticket. And good morning, Shara. Good morning, Shirley. And then if you share the video, because I always love for you guys to share my videos, you get 5 entries. And so this is the project that we created last week. So if you want to watch the replay for this, you can find it on my YouTube channel, or you can find it on my Facebook page. Good morning, Mary Liz. So I've got everybody's name in a bin here. So we've got anybody who commented, asked a question, whether it's during the live or the replay. I always try to go back and answer questions that you guys post if you're watching the replay, because I know not everybody can watch live. And same on YouTube, I always look at the comments on YouTube as well. All right, so the lucky winner this week is my Auntie Donna. So I will pop that in the mail for her. Thank you guys all for watching last week's video. We made this card last night, well, yesterday at my stamp clubs, and it was definitely my favorite for this month. Okay, all right, let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and flip the camera down because I've got lots to share with you today, and then of course we'll get crafting. So just bear with me for just a second. Okay, and there's always just a little bit of a delay, so I just want to make sure that it's straight and you guys can see what you need to see. Let's move it over a bit here. We're seeing some of my floor there. Okay, let's turn the light on so we get a little bit more light here. Okay, all right. Oh, Landra's here too. Hi, Landra. Good morning, Anna. Okay, so the Everything is Rosy medley. Last week, it was delivered. I was hoping it was going to be delivered before my live video, but it was delivered afterwards, and I had my retreat, and I don't think the ladies who were here have ever seen me move so fast when that doorbell rang. I was really excited to get it, and I have not stopped playing with it all week. So I wanted to share just how beautiful this paper is. Oh, Mary Liz, you got yours last night? Yay, it's so pretty, isn't it? Okay, so in the medley, you get a ton of stuff. So you get 8 sheets each of these patterns, and each one of these patterns has a rose gold foil accent in it. And then you flip it over, and we've got some more beautiful patterns, a little bit more geometrical. It is absolutely stunning. Like, I know that the camera is not doing this paper justice. So if this is something that you're interested in, 8 sheets of 6 by 6 is quite a bit. So I would talk to your friends and see if they want to split a package. You could work out something where you each get half of a package, because you get 8 sheets of the rose gold foil as well. You get 2 sheets of each of these die cuts. So 2 sheets of each of those, and you get 10 yards of 2 different types of ribbon. And then you also get, this is actually only half, so you get double this amount of these beautiful little, they're almost like little pieces of glass. They're rose gold, and they've got this thing on the top that you peel off, and they're just so sparkly. So it's the perfect kit that you can split. The only thing is you also get some rose gold shimmer paint, which we are going to use today. I'm very excited. And you get a stamp set and a set of framelits that coordinate with it, or dies, sorry, that coordinate with it. So you'd have to decide who gets this. So, or you could share it too. It could go on loan. So one person can have it for a few weeks and then somebody else can have it for a few weeks. So it's the perfect medley to actually share if you don't think you want to commit to getting a whole one. All right. Good morning, Barb. Are you back home now, Barb, or are you still gone? Barb was in Phoenix, or is in Phoenix right now. Mary Liz says she's so not a pink girl, but she loves the rose gold in this set. I know, I am not, I do not own anything pink, and I rarely use the color pink. Well, I guess petal pink, but that's more of an orangey pink. Whereas this, it's got some bright pinks and then soft pinks, but I am all about the pink with this paper. It's absolutely stunning. Okay, so we are gonna set this aside, and I'm going to show you some of the things that I've created so far, and I've created a lot of things. Good morning, Shauna. Okay, so first let's start with some cards, and some of these cards, actually all of the cards that I'm going to share with you this morning, all but one, I think, we are actually going to make in my Everything is Rosy class, which is on Thursday, May 23rd. And after the video, I'll post a link to all that information. So you still have the opportunity to get in on this class. So here's one of the cards, because I wanted to show that you don't always have to use it with pink. Here's another one. There's another one. So we're doing 2 thank you, 2 birthday, and 2 congratulations. I think this one's my favorite. This one, I don't know if you guys can see that shimmer in the background, and that one. I shared this one on my blog on Wednesday. So those are 5 of the 6 cards we'll be creating in class. And then I also created, this isn't something that we're creating in class, but this is a little mini album that I did using the 6x6 paper. So it's got a little pocket with some tags in here. Spot for photos, some journaling. I haven't decided what I'm going to use it for yet, but I had to create a mini album because it is absolutely, I just adore this paper. I can't get enough of it. So there we go. So, and that's just with 6x6 paper. I didn't cut the paper down or anything. Really simple to create. So I might do a video on that another time. Okay, so that was something else that I created. And then, of course, you know that I'm a big scrapbooker. So, on Facebook, yesterday, I think it was, I can't remember, I shared that this card that we created at my Uplimes team meeting, which I think Kathy Lovell designed, or planned anyways, was my inspiration for this scrapbook layout. So this photo was taken the year Ethan was born, just a couple months after he was born. Crazy. Oh man, they grow up so fast. Okay, so that was my inspiration. So the reason why I post these things sometimes is to show you guys that inspiration can come from anywhere. If you see a card that you love and you're a scrapbooker, you can turn that around and make it into a scrapbook page. All right, so that's that. And then these are the 4 layouts that we'll be creating at the layout class. So this one I think you guys saw before. I shared this one on somewhere, online somewhere. This is another page that I created that we'll be making. And another one, and this has a little flip up. And then this is the last page that we'll be creating. Okay, so like I said, I will post after, when I post after the live, I will post links to the information on the classes if you guys want to join in. And there will be a tutorial for those of you who can't attend the live event. There will be a tutorial event offered as well. Okay, so are you guys ready to see what we're making today? Thank you, Shauna. I love the album too. And it's amazing how simple it is. So this is what we're making. So this is my Mother's Day card, and my mom is a stamper and normally does watch my videos, but I asked her yesterday to not watch today's video until after I gave her Mother's Day card. So, and I trust her. I know she won't watch it. Okay, so this is what we're gonna create. So let's see here. We are gonna do some splattering because splattering is my thing right now. I love to splatter. So we're gonna do that first so it dries while we're working on some of the other aspects of the card. So I'm just gonna grab some scrap paper and we're gonna put a couple sheets down here. Is there a list of what to keep for class so I can play with the other stuff? You know what, Mary Liz? I designed the class so that you are only using, well, if you're doing both the cards and the scrapbook pages, as long as you have half of the kit. So set aside half of your paper, half of your foil, half of your ribbon, half of the embellishments. As long as you have half, then you are good. And I designed it that way so that if somebody wanted to share a kit and still attend class, they could do that. Okay, so as long as you have 4 sheets of each of the DSP, 4 sheets of the foil, and we may not use all of that, but that will give you plenty left to play with in the meantime. Okay, so I have got a thick white card base, and the card base is just a standard size card. So 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I am just going to use another scrap piece to cover over the seam. Now I could fold the card, but then I find it doesn't sit quite flat. So I find it easier to do this before you fold. And then I've got a little dish of some water and a paintbrush. And then I'm gonna use my shimmer paint. Okay, you are doing both. I couldn't remember if you had signed up for both. Okay, so I'm gonna open this up. Now you can use your aqua painter with this, but I prefer to just use a wet paintbrush and save my aqua painter for watercoloring. So I'm gonna dip it in the water, and then I'm gonna dip it in the shimmer paint, and then I'm gonna tap it. So just like that. And I kind of went at an angle like that. And then I'll just give this a rinse so it doesn't dry on there. And then we'll set this aside so it dries while we're working on the rest of the project. Okay, so that's my thing, is I love to splatter on everything, especially scrapbook pages. Okay, and then the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to take a piece of Whisper White cardstock. We're going to use our layering circled dies, and we are going to use number 6 and number 7. Now, if you guys are new to my videos, what I do to make it easier for class attendees or people who are watching my videos is I number my nesting dies. So it starts with the smallest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 here, I've got 7 here, and 8. So I do the solid circles, and then I would number these separately, the scallop circles. And that way you know which ones I'm using, and I don't have to try to figure out what measurement, and I don't want to have to measure my circles. Okay. Barb says they need to make a nail polish that color with the Gera. Yeah, wouldn't that be beautiful? Okay, let's get that out of the way. And we're going to bring in the Big Shot. Okay, so I've got a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I am going to just nest these together. They fit perfectly one inside the other because all I want is I just want a ring. I don't want a full circle. Okay, I'll get this out of the way. So the circle I'm not going to use for this project. I'll save it and use it for something else. And then I've got my ring. And then I am going to take another piece of Whisper White, and actually we can do some stamping on here because there's still some room, and we are going to do some stamping. Okay, so the colors that I'm using are Powder Pink, which is retiring, Melon Mambo, Night of Navy, and Old Olive. So we'll go ahead and we'll stamp our leaves first. So I'm going to do the leaves in Old Olive. And because this is a photopolymer stamp, I like to use my Stampin' Pierce mat underneath. So I'm going to stamp one of those, and then one of the smaller leaves. I can move that out of the way. Then next I'm going to bring in my Melon Mambo, and I'm going to stamp the small flower. And I'm going to stamp it twice. So, and you can see that there's different shaded areas. That's the way the stamp is meant to be. It's not meant to be a solid, evenly inked stamp. Okay, and then I've got my powder pink, and I'm going to ink the largest flower with powder pink. And then I'm going to use a finger dauber or a sponge dauber and just ink up just the center, just to make it a little bit darker. And then I'm going to take my finger dauber and add a bit more color in the center like that. All right. Barb asked if I purchased the cleaner yet. No, I wasn't 100% sure how that cleaner was going to work. I wanted to see kind of thoughts and what everybody else thought before I committed to it. And I did see a photo of the cleaner and then two stamps or photopolymer stamps that were stained in red. One that was not cleaned with it and one that was cleaned with it. And it does get quite a bit of the red off. So I still haven't decided if that's enough to make me purchase it. For me, having the stamp stained in red, I don't know. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect the quality of the stamps. Okay, so now I'm using this largest image, the center image. And I'm going to stamp that in the center. That's not really in the center. It's hard to see from an angle here. And then I'm going to use the little dots and stamp. Oh my gosh, it really makes a difference if you can't go right over top. Okay, so now I've got all of my stamped images done. And then through the magic of pre-preparing, they're all die cut for me. So you don't have to watch me cut those. All right, so now I have all my pieces cut, and in addition to, oh, I'm missing oh no, I'm not, okay. In addition to the stamped images, I also cut this, which is also one of the dies that's in that same framelit set. So I'm gonna use that, and then I've got my circle, and oh, the other thing I wanted to do was I wanted to stamp a couple flowers on my envelope. Let's do that. So I've just got a plain Whisper white envelope, and I'm gonna stamp just a couple flowers, and then I'll do the centers as well. Bring back the navy. Okay, so now I have an envelope to match. Okay, and let's check and see if our card base is dry. It's gonna be close. I should have pre-done this. Okay, we'll just be careful. So the smaller splatters will be dry, but the bigger ones might still be a little bit wet. So I'm gonna use a bit of Tombow and stick this on here. So what does everybody have planned this weekend? Any special plans for Mother's Day? Okay, I'll just put that down there. Barb asked if I could heat it up and dry the rest. You probably can. I just worry that some of the bigger splotches might start to bubble with the heat. But you could definitely, to do the smaller ones, I just would hate for that to bubble up and then kind of burst and look kind of, I don't know, I'm not sure how it would look. So, but you could probably give it a quick run over with the heat tool, and it would dry it up really nicely. Okay, and then I've got some strips of the DSP. So I love to use up my scraps whenever I can. So this piece measures, I've got it written down, 1/2 inch by 4 inches. And then this piece measures, which we're gonna use this side, because you gotta use that rose gold foil side, definitely. This piece measures 3/4 inch by 3 inches. And I'm just going to add a bit of adhesive on here. I flagged the end. And I'm just gonna add that on there. I'll flag the end of this one. Mary Liz says, Andrew made an 8 p.m. reservation and you're wearing your Victoria dress, but he won't tell you anything else. Ooh, that's nice. A surprise. Okay, so then I'm putting that on, and then I've got a piece of the beautiful ribbon that comes in the medley. So I'm just gonna put a bit of adhesive down here and add this on here. Like that. Okay, and then we are going to use the bone folder and curl up the edges of the flowers so that we get just give them a little bit more dimension. And I'm going to use some mini glue dots, or not mini glue dots, dimensionals. And I'll just put one in the center of the flower. And the reason why I'm only putting one in the center is so that it will allow me to kind of tuck things underneath as I'm putting things on here. So I want it probably about there. Yeah, it is a fun way to use up scraps, hey? I'm always looking for different ways to use up scraps. Okay, and then this leaf, I find this leaf, it's a little bit big for this particular card. So I'm gonna show you how you can get more use out of it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trim off this bottom bit, but I'm going to save it because I'm going to use that little bit. I'm going to tuck this under here, and you want to make sure that you position it so it doesn't stick off of the edge of the card, because you want your card to fit into an envelope. And then we'll add, I'm just going to use a mini dimensional for the smaller flowers again, so I can do more tucking. This guy's going to go about there. And then this one on the other side. So right about there. Okay, and then this 2-leaf one. So this isn't the one that I cut off. This is the one that I cut off the bottom of the other one. This one's gonna get tucked in here. And again, I'm gonna try to position it in a way so that it doesn't stick off the edge, like where that score line is. Okay, now this one, I'm actually going to, there's 2 ways that you can do this. You can actually just trim this. You see that there's a stem there, right? You can trim this like this and cut out the stem. And then just clean up these edges here. And you could use it like that. But I want to add the greenery, more greenery in a couple different places. So I'm just gonna snip that in half. And again, I'll use my bone folder to curl up the edges a little bit. Add a little bit of adhesive to the bottom. And then I will do some tucking. So I want one in here. And then I want another one. Let's see, where should we put the other one? I think in here. I want this stack of leaves to just look a little bit more full. Okay, So then this thing, what I like to do with this thing is cut it once, and then again, I will get multiple uses out of it. So I'm snipping right here. That will give me one. And right here will give me 2 and 3. So I only have to cut it once, but I can tuck it into 3 different places. So this one is gonna go down here, and I find using a mini glue dot, just sticking the end on like this, and then using my paper piercer to pick it off will allow me to easily position it where I want it. And it might be a bit long actually. Let's see how far we can tuck. Okay, I'm happy with that. And then actually I think I'm going to tuck another one underneath there. So I want to tuck this one. Actually I'm going to trim that end off a little bit. Or maybe we'll stick it over top. I got so many layers on here, it's I can't get under that layer. Okay, we'll do it underneath. All right. Okay, and then this one I want to stick kind of up here. So it's much easier, I find, to get it underneath when you've got cardstock that you're working with ribbon. I find it, the mini glue dot really gets stuck to the ribbon. There we go. Okay, so now I want to use one of those little embellishments, what did I do with them? There we go. So I'm going to put one of these little rose gold embellishments in the center of the big flower. And then I'm just going to make sure that I peel off that backing, which of course on camera seems to be a little bit more difficult. Okay, there we go. So now you can see it almost looks like a colored piece of glass. It's really, really pretty. All right, now what we're gonna do is I've got a 1/2 inch strip of Whisper White cardstock, and I am going to use this stamp set, the Strong and Beautiful stamp set, because I'm making a Mother's Day card, and I want to do You're Amazing and That's a Fact. And I'm gonna stamp it in navy onto this strip. Make sure it's straight here. I gotta stand up for this. I'm sorry if my head's in the way here. Okay. And then actually what we're gonna do let's fold this first. I'm still being careful, that larger dot there, I don't know if it would be dry yet. So I'm still being careful, I don't want to smear that, but I want to stamp on the inside of my card, and I'm gonna stamp Happy Mother's Day, and again in the navy. Okay, and then I'm going to add a couple flowers just to dress up the inside a little bit. Okay, and then we'll add the centers to those flowers as well. Okay, so the inside looks just as pretty as the outside. And then we're gonna go back to this. We're gonna tuck our greeting, and then I'm gonna show you another way that you can get, you can touch up your little splatters. Okay, that needs to be trimmed just a little bit. And we are gonna tuck that, yeah, right there. Okay, thank you, Shauna. It sticks off a little bit, so we'll just trim this up a little bit. Okay, so now I want to add a few more splatters kind of where I kind of covered up a lot of the splatters right here. So I kind of want to add a few splatters around here, but of course, if I use it with the paintbrush, I have less control. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a stylus, and I'm going to take the shimmer paint and just dot on some splatters so it looks like it was done. So this is a stylus that I had laying around, but you can definitely use the Stampin' Up! One that comes with your scoreboard. That will work just as well. And then I'm just going to figure out where I want to add a few more splatters. So if you push down, so if I actually push down, then I'll get a bigger splatter. And if I just touch the cardstock, I get a smaller splatter. So you just have to figure out what type of splatter and where you want it. Okay, I'm happy with that. I don't want to overdo it. So that just adds some of those bigger splatters that are down here, it kind of adds them around here. All right, and then you know what I should have done is I had stamped some little pink flowers, and I should have done those before I added the splatters. But maybe I just won't add the little pink flowers to this one. Excuse me. So one of the other images that was in this set was this cluster of little flowers. So I stamped those in the powder pink around my cluster of flowers. But I think I'm just going to leave this like this. I think it looks good. All right, so what do you guys think? Do you like it? So pretty. So if this is something that interests you, be sure you check out my class. Like I said, I will post the details to the class in the comment section in a little bit here. And I still have some more things to share with you using this suite. So be sure to check my blog next week. You'll see a couple more things that I want to share with you. And if I've convinced you that you need this bundle or this medley, be sure to purchase it using this host code, and I will send you a little something in the mail. All right, so thanks so much for watching. Have a lovely weekend, and happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers, whether you're mothers to little children or to fur babies. All right, thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.